See, what would be interesting that I tend to notice is that people be complaining about not having enough money, not getting paid enough. When, if you think about it, yeah, it'd be nice to get paid more for the time you spend, but that time you spend, you could just as easily spend it doing nothing, right? You could spend that same time, if you work an 8-hour shift, you could spend that 8 hours just watching TikTok videos. I would know. I've done that too many times to my liking. Like, oh man, I spent 8 hours on TikTok. That's not good. There's so many things I wanted to do and I just wasted it on TikTok, right? So that's an example. So that's why it's like, yeah, I would rather use my time more wisely. So the whole idea of like, oh, I need to get paid more for my time, is like, that would be nice and all, but if you don't have control of that, then what can you do, right? If you don't have control of how much you make for the time you work, then you might want to focus on figuring out how to make the most with the money you got. So many things I could say, like find a job where you're making the same amount of money, but you work less hours. So that way it mathematically works itself out where you're making more than more than the time you spend. So you spend less time working, but you're making, the same amount of money, but it's technically more, because remember, you're working less time, but still making the same amount of money as if you work more time. So when you compare it to the other job, the other position, then you'll see that, you worked more time, but still got the same amount of money. So sometimes working less but getting paid the same, is equivalent to essentially making more money. But of course, people want to focus on the actual number, the actual amount. So they want to focus on how much money they have. And the thing is, there's ways to grow your money. You can use your money to make money, but most people don't do that. Most people are used to the idea of just spending money. That's what lets you know people don't understand the purpose of money. They're usually raised to, spend money. That money is meant to be spent on whatever you want. And a lot of times that's the most common thing that people are told, that money is meant to be spent on what you want, which makes people selfish, especially when it comes to money. Makes people value money way more than they should, because they think that the only way they can do anything in life is if they have money. They need money to do things. And not everything in life requires money, but there's a lot you can do with money. Money's supposed to make life easier because it allows you to, pay for things to be easy. One of the things that I always notice that annoys me is that people have a habit of trying to hold on to money way longer than they should. I'm not saying, spend all your money so you're broke and don't have money. Obviously, you want to have money for when things pop up in your life and you want to be able to afford, unexpected expenses is what it's called. So you want to have some money saved up for a rainy day, as they say. But other than that, you should be spending money. The money is not for you. That's one of the misconceptions people have about money, is they think that their money is their money, when in reality it's not. It's not your money. You actually don't have ownership of money. You're using money. You have permission to use it. You're allowed to use money, but your money has no, you don't own it. You don't have specific ownership of the money. You didn't create it, so you clearly didn't own it. You're using it. You're allowed to use it. You have been given money in exchange for whatever services or products you provided. So that's the point. Money is meant to be given to other people. So whenever you have money, you got to remember, you're supposed to give it to other people. That's what money is for. It's to give to other people in return for services and products, right? It's not for you to keep and hoard and have and count and show off like, hey, look, I have this much money in my bank account. It's like, well, good for you. When are you going to start spending it? If you want to take a picture of the fact you have that amount of money, good. Go ahead, do it. I would. If I had $1 million, that's what I'll do. I'll take a picture of it, right? And save it, and then start spending the money. because I have the picture. I could always show somebody like, yo, I had the money. I made money. I had $1 million. That's awesome. But what's most important is to actually spend it eventually. You don't want to keep holding on to money for too long, because it's meant to be spent. And then you have to consider, why are you spending? Don't spend your money on dumb stuff. Don't spend it on, entertainment all the time, because that's temporary. Because what you're trying to do is trying to buy happiness. Not saying you can't have fun. Not saying you can't, have some enjoy, things in life. What I'm saying is that money is meant to be given to other people, so that way they can give it to somebody else, and it's supposed to keep circulating. That's what the economy is about. It's about money circulating, money going from one person to the next, so that way things happen, that way things function, and that's how society works. Everybody working for the greater good. Everybody working so that way everybody can benefit. Everybody taking turns doing their part in life. That's what a job is you doing your part to help out society, doing your part to help out, other people. But so many people are so selfish that they tend to not want to do stuff like work. They want the easy route. They want to be in a position where, they can sit on their asses and get money, and then use the money for selfish reasons, selfish purposes. But then be unhappy, be complaining about certain things. It's like, well, you chose that life. You chose to be selfish. So of course, there's going to be a negative result to that. Every action has an opposite and equal reaction. Therefore, if you're selfish, don't be surprised that the world is selfish towards you. Right? If you're an asshole, don't be surprised the world is an asshole to you. And the list goes on and on, right? So try to do better. So getting money, earning money, and work, getting money. Okay, so it's earning money, making money, and getting money. Yeah, those three things. Because some people misunderstand the idea of those three. They say it wrong. Like they'll say they make money when they actually just earn money. Or they'll say they make money when they actually just get money. What I mean by earn, obviously, work, right? You do something for somebody, and then you get paid for it. When you make money, that comes from a product. Most often, it could be through a service, not you service specifically, but through having people to do service for you. Like if you start a business, like a cleaning business, then you're providing a service through your cleaning business, and you're making money through the business, right? So it's more of entrepreneurship. So making money is more on the business side, where you produce a product and you sell it and make money. You buy low, sell high, right? That kind of stuff. So that's making money. Then there's the getting money, and most people in life are in that position where they get money. And those people tend to be very ungrateful. They're in a nice position because they're in a position where, they don't have to do anything and they'll have money. People who are born into wealth, people who collect SSI, disability, things like that, welfare, and the list goes on and on. Homeless people, you can say they get money, not that they earn money per se, or make money, because they're not providing products or services. All they're doing is asking for money, and people hand it to them, so they get money. So that's the thing about those three things. Some people get it mixed up. Now I prefer to make money than to earn money, right? Because I have more control over making money than I have over earning money. So that's why getting into businesses, even like real estate and stuff like that, the stock market, getting into anything that can help you grow your income, grow your wealth, that's you have more control over that than if you had like a job, because job, it just allows you to earn. And some people think that because they earn money, right, because somebody's giving them money for working a job, that they should be able to pretty much become rich from that. And there's an old expression which is, you know, you don't get rich from having a job, right? That idea that, working a 9 to 5 is not going to make you rich. And it's true in one regard, right? If all you do is the 9 to 5 and keep, expect that someday you'll be rich because of it, yeah, that doesn't work. But that's if you have that mindset. But if you have I'll take this money from this 9 to 5 and invest it and find other ways to generate income, and so you do become rich, then your 9 to 5 can make you rich. But you have to have that mindset to be able to go beyond your limits. The thing is, most people get a job and that's it. And then sometimes they'll get a job because it was available. They got lucky, they got the job, but then they stay there, they complain about the job. They'll be like, oh, I hate this job. But then they don't think, well, maybe I should do better. Maybe I should get a better job, or maybe another job, 2 jobs, so I can have double the income, right? One job is to pay the bills and stuff, and the other job is so I can save that money, I can stack it, right? Let it grow for retirement. So you got one job to live your life for, for you to, pay for your lifestyle, and the other job is for your retirement. That'd be smart. If you can do it, right? It's one way of, prepping yourself for the future. Another way is having one job and then try to save as much money from that job in order to invest, for your future. And that's another thing, investing for your future. Most people don't think about their future selves. Like, their future selves is going to need money. It's going to need stuff. You might get to a point in your life where you can't work no more because of physical disability, or for whatever other reason you can't work. And you want to make sure you're prepared for that. So money, is useful if you use it right, but it's actually useless, which is the point of this recording, is that it's pointless if you don't know what you're doing. You want to make sure you know what you're doing. You want to remember that, think about your life, because the idea is you need to plan out your life. That way you know how much you need for your life. Like, how much money do you need to live your life? If you're just, living for the moment, that's going to make life harder, because you never know if you're making enough. That's why there'll be people working a 9 to 5 for like 20 years and then be like complaining about their life isn't any better, isn't the way they expected it to be. But the reason why is because for those 20 years, they wasn't checking their lives. They didn't check the status of their life every month, every year, to see if they progress. And they didn't make plans. They didn't plan for the future. They didn't plan on what kind of life they're going to have 20 years after they started working. They just started working and just blindly kept doing the routine, eat, sleep, work, 9 to 5, 9 to 5. So of course, 20 years passed by, and then they're like, oh shit, my life is not where I wanted it to be. Of course, it's not where you wanted it to be, because you were not focused on where you wanted to be. You were literally driving down a highway without looking at any of the signs to let you know where you're going, to let you know that you drove into Canada or something. So of course you're randomly somewhere you didn't expect to be. Of course your life is not where you wanted it to be, because you were not focused on it. You weren't focused on your life. You were just focusing on money. Work, get paid. Work, get paid. That's all. You were more focused on paydays and having money and what you're going to do with it than what you're going to do with your life. And that's the problem. A lot of people get into that mindset, work, that their life just literally passed them by, and then they're owed, wondering what happened. And then they'll start getting into this whole mindset of, well, it's too late to do anything now. It's too late for me to change my life. It's too late to, start saving for a better life because they're older now. They have less time. But in reality, it's not too late. You should have knowledge, wisdom, experience. You should be able to figure out a way to fix that problem, right? To be able to catch up to the fact that you've been not doing what you should have been doing the whole entire time. And that's all I'm saying is, like, it's never too late to start investing into anything, into a skill or a hobby that you could monetize, right? There's so many different ways on the internet right now that you can make money from. Like, if you like doing music, you can make money through music. If you like dancing, you can make money through dancing. If you like cooking, you can make money through cooking, and the list goes on. You just gotta start thinking about what you want to do with your life and how you want your life to be. And it has to be more than money. You can't just be like, I want to be rich, or I want to have money to do this, that, and the third. It's like, no, focus on what you want to do and then see how much it will cost to do it. You'll be surprised. A lot of the stuff you want to do, you could do for free or for very little money. Some people, have ideas to be like, I always wanted to start my own restaurant or start my own radio show or something like that. But it's going to cost a lot of money and this, that, and they always have in their mind, like, the idea that it requires so much to do the thing they want to do. That's why they never started. But then when somebody like myself, explains, you could do that. You could do that for like $20. What are you talking about? That's something you can easily do. You could have been done that 20 years ago. You didn't need much to do this, that, and the third. Right? And then when you explain it to them, then their response to that would be typically, well, I mean, yeah, you're right, but it's too late. Like, I'm already used to how my life is now and comfortable, blah, blah, blah. They'll just try to justify, their current situation. Just be like, there's no point. After you pointed out that they wasted 30 to 40 years of their life not living their dream. It's like, but it's your dream. Essentially, that means that's your life. Your life was meant to be that thing that you wanted to do, but you literally wasted your life not doing that thing. And I'm here pointing it out to you that you could have done it easily. You just let life around you, your environment, I should say. You allowed your environment, your situation, dictate your life instead of you dictating your life. And that's the problem. You let the fact that you had bills to pay to dictate that you spend more time making money at the job you have to pay those bills, making somebody else's dream come true. Just think about who you paying the bill to, who you paying these water bills, electric bills, these rent money to. Other people, and what they're doing with that money, living their life, doing the things they want to do, especially if what they wanted to do was be a landlord. They're living their life, right? They put time and effort to buy a property. Now they're renting it. Now they're a landlord, right? They're a renter. So they're renting out the property and making money. They're living their life. And you are their tenant, right? You are paying for them to live their life. But what's ironic is that you're not living yours. You're helping other people live their life, but you're not helping yourself live your life. Think about it. That's part of the problem we have in society, is that too many people don't try to live their lives. They're always either A, trying to live somebody else's life. They want to do what other people are doing. So they end up making bad decisions in their lives because they're too busy trying to do what everybody else is doing. So if they see other people spending money on expensive clothes, then they think they have to do it too. So I want to do what they're doing instead of doing what you want to do, instead of being yourself, right? Being different and unique is a good thing, not a bad thing. It's sad that nowadays people think that being different is a bad thing. when it's not. It's what makes the world awesome. All the things we have in society, in this world, came from unique people who thought different, who decided to dedicate their lives to doing things differently than things were. And that's how we got all this awesome stuff now. And every person that comes onto this planet, right, is born into this world, is supposed to be replacing the people that, are currently in this world that won't be here for too long. I'm not going to be here for too long. I got good 20, maybe 40 years left of life on this planet, and I'm going to make the most of it for the next generation. And then the next generation, I expect them to do better than me. I expect them to solve more problems than I solve. My purpose in life is to solve problems, which ironically, that's 90% of the human race. Purpose in life is to solve problems, their own problems, other people's problems. You know what I mean? There's people whose job is to solve math problems, whose job is to solve medical problems, whose job is to solve social problems, legal problems, environmental problems, things of that nature. So my main thing is that I want people to start being happier in life, right? Start focusing on what they want out of life and stop chasing money. Not saying don't make it, don't earn it, don't collect it, right? Obviously, get money, but be willing to put it to good use instead of wasting it on unnecessary things. Top priority should always be, when it comes to money, is to use it for the stuff you need. That's the whole point of money, is you're supposed to use it to give it to somebody to get stuff you need, like food, shelter, right? Safety, right? Security, right? Protections, like shelter, transportation. You should be trying to get as many resources as you possibly can. And another thing is, you want things that last long. That's another thing I notice people do. They tend to buy things that are temporary, disposable, which is just creating problems, right? Because we're creating a whole bunch of trash, right? You want stuff that lasts so long that you can pass it off to your children, and your children's children, right? That's the kind of stuff we humans are supposed to be working on. Is the stuff we build now is supposed to last for thousands and thousands of years, so that way humans in the future can benefit from our work, from our efforts, right? Because we solved the problem, right? We solved a shelter problem, right? So we created a world where there's a whole bunch of buildings, right? A whole bunch of living spaces, instead of dwelling in caves or trying to find a cave or a hole in the ground, or grab a whole bunch of branches and tree leaves, right, and try to build shelter. We built apartment complexes, houses, mansions, right? We built a society so that we expect to last a long, long time, so that way future generations can have a roof over their head, have a place to stay. A lot of times I notice when I be in certain locations, I'd be thinking like, man, who used to be here? Who built this place? Who was here before me? I can only imagine how many people came through it. I can only imagine how many amazing people I would like to have met and get to know and talk to that came through these locations. They lived here. They had culture. They had, they have experiences that, that would have been awesome to hear about, But so many people dwell on not having things. And usually the things that they complain about not having are things they don't really need. Because they don't have it, they want it. So, right? So then they feel it's important because they want it. But once they have it, they quickly realize they never really needed it. It was just the wanting of the thing is what motivated them, is what mattered. Them wanting something. like them wanting a nice car. But once they have it, it's like, okay, it's just a car. It gets me from point A to point B. Other than that, it's not that important. It was important when I didn't have it, but now it's less important because I do have it. So it was more about the journey, less about the destination, right? It's more about the idea, less about the reality. Because the reality, a nice car is just that, a car. Nothing really special, after you have it, because, you have it, so it's less special than when you don't have it. Just like traveling to another part of the world seems amazing, seems like an awesome thing until you actually travel. Once you're there, at first it'll be awesome, but then after a while of being there, you'll be like, oh, this is no different from any other part of the world. It's just a different part on this big dust ball, this big ball of dirt. Just another dirty location, basically. I'm just on another piece of land that was cultivated by humans for us to, live and function, and that's it. I've been to different places where I'm like, this reminds me of Philly. This reminds me of this other location, and so forth. So it's like, the familiarity, right? It's just like, this is not that different from another place. It's just that this place, the climate is different. Like, it's warmer here than in this other location. That's the only difference. But structurally, it's pretty much the same, because everywhere you go, people are going to need shelter. They're going to need food, water, security, right? Protection, right? They're going to need safety, from the elements, from nature, from other people. So it's like everywhere you go, you're going to see a lot of similarities, because humans are very simple in how we work, how we function, and what we need, which is why it's always more important to focus on what you need than what you want. Not saying you can't want things. I'm trying to encourage the idea of, if you want to be a doctor, then become a doctor. You want to be a lawyer, be a lawyer. You want to be an entrepreneur, then be an entrepreneur. But focus on what you want to do more than the financial benefits of it, right? Like, don't chase money. Chase your dreams is what I'm saying. Chase your goals. Because when you're, old in your deathbed, right, you don't want to regret your life. You don't want to be like, damn, I spent more of my life making money than actually living my life. Like, money was my life. How sad is that? Some people be like, oh, that's amazing. I love money. Proving my point. Proving how ignorant of an idea it is to think that money matters. Is like, but it doesn't. It's what you do with it that matters, which is why I'm saying focus on what you do, not money. Money is irrelevant. Money has no value. It has no purpose. It has no function other than what we give it. We give money value. We give money a purpose. We give money, a function. The point I'm making is that money is nothing without us. If humans was not on this planet, money is irrelevant. Money is only relevant because we are here, which is more reason why I'm pointing out the fact that we as humans are important. We matter. What we want to do matters. And what we do matters. So let's focus on doing things, on making things, on fixing things. Especially for the ones who broke it, right? If we broke something, we definitely should be the ones to fix it. Or find somebody who can help us fix it. But the main thing is, we need to put more effort into making the world a better place. And that's another thing. Complaining about the world isn't the way you would like it to be. That's fair. It's fair to, want some life to be better. Okay, then what you're going to do about it? Most people complain about problems but don't come up with a solution. And most people who do have a solution don't do anything with the solution. They don't try to make sure that somebody hears the solution, or that they implement it themselves, or try to convince other people to implement it. There's a lot of people that have great ideas, great solutions. I have tons of ideas and solutions to solve so many of the world's problems, but ain't nobody listening to me. Well, nobody of importance anyway. there'll be a lot of people in similar situations to me that will hear what I have to say, agree with what I say, understand that, yeah, it is a great idea, great solutions to problems, but it means nothing if they can't make use of the information. If I can't make use of the information, it's like the ideas, the solutions only matter once you apply them. We all have tons of ideas to make the world a better place. But if we don't apply these ideas, they mean nothing. Because like I said, there's tons of ideas out there. There's tons of people on this planet that can solve the problems of the world. It's just that no one's looking for these people who have these solutions and then giving them the resources that they need in order to make things happen. That is a problem. Now, technically, to a certain degree, there is ways to get the resources. There are ways that you can set it up where people can support you if you are really good at solving problems. You could try to, create a Facebook page, Twitter account, a YouTube channel, TikTok account, and try to get the word out there of, your ideas of what you're trying to do. And then you could try to get, especially if you need money for these ideas, you can, do some Kickstarter stuff, some GoFundMe. You could try to look for some investors, and the list goes on of different ways you can try to get money and support towards your idea. You could probably just, especially if what you need is like people to help you, not necessarily just money, but money would help you, be able to pay people to help you. If there's some people who are just willing to help just because they believe in your cause and your ideas, then you can just put it out there that, hey, I need people who are good at programming, or I need people who are good at doing this, or who are good at doing that. People who have resources that they are willing to share, or at least rent out for low cost. Because not everything has to be free, right? Just like not everything has to be expensive. You can rent out stuff. Because that's something I'm looking into now, is the idea of renting a lot of the resources that I need to do the things that I want to do. If I want to cure a certain disease, for example, well, I will probably need an electron microscope, so that way I can, see that my concepts and solutions to curing the disease, works, right? I need to see the disease. I need to see the results of my solution applied to the disease and see the end result. And that's where electron microscope will come in, right? But electron microscopes ain't cheap. Let's say the cheapest is $3,000. Well, I don't have $3,000. Well, technically I do, but let's just say I don't have the $3,000 for it. Just to put it into an electron microscope, right? Well, let's say for $30, maybe even $300, I can pay somebody who does already have an electron microscope to use the electron microscope to, look at my solutions, right? To give me, to document the results that I'm looking for, and help me out, right? So I could rent out the service, right? I could rent somebody electron microscope to do my tests. That benefits them, that benefits me, and of course ultimately benefits the world once I have a solution. And then it's just a matter of going past that, going through the process and making the solution to the problem available for the world. So I have resources, obviously. I got the internet and stuff like that. Do got money. I do need people. That's what I don't have a lot of, is people who are like-minded, people who, I don't have a team, is what I'm saying. So I gotta work on building a team so I can be able to do a whole bunch of stuff that I'm trying to do. But of course, money is going to be necessary to pay the team, right? So working on that. I do got money. It's just a matter of finding people to start paying. So that's what I'm working on right now, is trying to build a team and go from there. But like money's out there, right? That's the thing. Money's out there. You could just go get a job and you'll have money. It's what you do if it is what makes the difference. If you want to be rich, you gotta think like a rich person. You gotta think of what can I do to make my money grow. It's no different from planting. It's like you're planting something. You get seed money. Think of it that way, right? The money you make from your jobs, save a couple of, $100 bills here and there, right? And then that'll be your seed money for growing your wealth, and then start figuring out where is the best place to plant your seeds to get the most out of them, right? And grow your money tree, as they say. That's where investing in stuff like real estate, the stock market, for example, or companies, investing into small businesses, startups, starting your own business, right? So many different ways to make money online that no one has the excuse of not being able to achieve their goals in life. You just gotta first jot down your goals and then figure out how to achieve these goals with what is available. Because if you have a smartphone, you have access to I'll say, to 80% of everything you could ever need to achieve your goals. Just by having a smartphone, you have 80% of what you need. The remaining 20% is on you and the people you associate with, and the how you use your time. And that'd be the end of the podcast.